Hey everyone, it's Phil. I am back here with some more great leather stuff, and if you're paying attention to the news, you're probably depressed. So it's good that you're here because I'm very excited and happy to show you so much great stuff today. Stick around, you're definitely going to want to see a lot of the stuff here. I've got stuff that we're shipping out today, and in the batch of what we're shipping is including several things that I've never seen before, including some leather that's about 80 years old. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. And then at the end of the video, I'll be finishing off our project on these Quoddy moccasin chukka boots in black Chromexcel, polishing those up and seeing how good we can get those to look. So let's start off first here with some of the stuff we're shipping out. This is not everything, so if you don't see your item in here, don't get freaked out. But there are several things in here, so we're gonna have to move kind of quickly. But I really wanted to show you this Slate Vintage Fat Herbie. And this is for a very special customer that was a big fan of the Slate Vintage. We also had a Slate Vintage vault key holder made for him, a Slate Vintage Lexington Hotel key case, and also this is really cool. This is a Slate Vintage two-piece watch strap, and I just think all these turned out so great. The Slate Vintage is a veg tan leather that's a gray, and it's hard for us to get gray leathers, so that's why this leather is particularly special for us. Although when you wear this, I do expect it to darken up quite a bit because there's a large amount of wax that has been finished onto the Slate Vintage. So when it is burnished and polished up, just the sort of normal patina that you would expect on leather, this does get very dark, but you can always sort of crease it and fold it and flex it to get that gray to pop back out. Up next here, I have a cobalt blue Dublin two-piece watch strap, and this blue Dublin is really neat. Some people had given some feedback saying that this is also very dark, and it is dark on the surface. If you were following on the Chromexcel video, we were talking about the difference between the table color, which is the color as it lays on the table, and the pull-up color. Now, the Dublin leather has a dramatic burst effect, which is very similar to the pull-up. You're displacing the surface waxes to see more of the tone underneath. So this leather is very vibrant blue underneath. On the surface, because of that wax, it's very dark. But either way, these unlined straps in the Dublin leather, we finish the back sides of the leather with a nice resin coating to fill in those fibers. So these are super, super comfortable. And because the Dublin is a vegetable tan leather, it's gonna mold and form to your wrist, making it just a really comfortable strap. Here is a Giant the Fox in natural Chromexcel. This one has that mock interior that I really like. I believe there's only one left of these. We'll be restocking these soon. The natural Chromexcel is the most popular Chromexcel color, and I think you can see why here. It's just a really nice neutral sort of taupe color. Again, with that pull-up, it's a lot lighter than the surface or table color, and you can really see the pull-up effect right there. Here's another natural Chromexcel wallet, but this one is on the Bugs Moran. I really like the form factor of the Bugs Moran. It just fits perfectly in your hand. And again, natural Chromexcel is always a hit, so this is a really great looking Bugs Moran. Another wallet with a really great form factor here. This is the Tony the Ant. It's very similar to the Bugs Moran, although the Tony the Ant has the bill slot on the back there. Let me see if I can give you an idea of the difference of the sizes. So if I put these end to end, you can see that the Tony the Ant is slightly larger, and we made it larger to accommodate bills in this bill slot in the back just a little bit more nicely. So it's very similar in all other respects, including on the interior where we have those 4 card slots. On the larger 2 of each of these card slots, you can fit bills folded in half as well. The classic shell cordovan color. This is color 8 shell cordovan on my favorite wallet, the Fat Herbie. And check out how sweet this shell is. It's just very glass-like on the outside. Just love that shell cordovan luster. This one in particular has a really, really satisfying, smooth feel. And this Fat Herbie in particular is not very fat at all. It's actually made with quite thin shells that I like. So there's a misconception that thicker leather is better. I suppose it could be in some circumstances. On wallets, I actually like a little bit thinner than normal, just because I like the way that it sits in my pocket a little bit better, and the durability is not affected by the thinner pieces of shells, or any leather for that matter. However, when you thin down pieces of leather. Like a lot of large manufacturing wallet makers, they will thin down parts of the wallet and fold and turn the edges. When you thin down the leather like that, it's almost like cutting off all the foundation of your house. All the fibers that are meshed together and bound together. When you start to remove some of those, you're really unlocking the strength of the leather. So for that reason, we don't like to skive and thin down the leather. However, when you start off naturally thin, they do remain very strong. Check out this Bugs Moran, and look at the leather on that. I just love this black marbled shell cordovan. And again, you can see, even though I call it black marble, it is not black at all. It's more of a greenish tan, sort of blue, everything in between. And that's because the black dyes that we use at the tannery when we make the black shells are greenish black. And you start to see more of those undertones when you start scraping away the layers of stain. And on the inside of this one, we have a really neat randomized black reverse shell cordovan. This is a really, really great looking Bugs Moran. I love how unique this one is. All the marbled shells are really unique, but this one is just extra cool. All right, check this one out. And I'm just gonna let this wallet speak for itself for a moment. So this is a really special leather. And this is actually calfskin from the 1940s that Horween Leather Company has lying around. We've bought most of it. And I have a lot of it here sitting at the tannery. We've had it for several years and been saving for special projects or for special requests. And this is a really great story. So the calfskin here from, I believe it's from 1941, so it's almost 80 years old, which is just mind-blowing to think about. So the story is that the leather that we have, this calfskin from 1940, was a return from a customer way back then. And I'm not sure why they had returned the leather, but this is a special formulation that Horween did. I believe they called it timber tanned, and they can no longer reproduce this leather. So they had it sitting around for obviously decades and trying to reproduce it and could never quite get it right. So these are the last and only calfskins from 1941. They made it in a couple colors. I like this blonde color. There's also a sort of red color and then more of one that almost looks like orange. But this is a really, really cool wallet. I know this one is for Rick. So Rick, congratulations. I really like how your Tony the Ant turned out here. So if anybody else is interested in some of that old calf from the 1940s, definitely chat me up, send me a comment. Maybe I can send you some photos of the remaining leather I have left. And last up today, another really special Tony the Ant. This one is also for Rick. So double congratulations, Rick. This is a natural shell cordovan, Tony the Ant. And this natural shell in particular has more of that natural sort of wrinkly draw in it than most. You can really see it changes depending on what angle you look at it. And I am a huge, huge fan of the raw shell cordovan. I've been wearing a raw shell Fat Herbie for the last year and a half or so, and the way that this ages and develops, it's just the most dramatic patina possible in any piece of leather, really. It really ages just as good as any veg, and because it starts off so raw and so natural, you'll really see a dramatic patina change. The color changes to more golden, deeper brown, and the luster really develops the layers of luster that I really like. There's sort of a luster underneath the leather and then a luster on the surface as well, and both of them develop very nicely. So here we have the Quoddies from yesterday, and you might have noticed some awkward editing in yesterday's video, and that's because I was calling these boots by the wrong maker. So these are Quoddy Chromexcel boots. They are moccasins, they're unconstructed, they have a not firm leather sole. These are a chrome pack sole. And yesterday we washed these up with a bit of soapy water. You can see, and then I rinsed them and let it dry. So it's been about 24 hours since these had been wet. So it's fully dry now. And I kind of like it like that. The problem with leaving it at this point is we've introduced soap into the leather, and that soap pulls out the nourishing fats and oils that have been tanned into the leather. So it's super, super important for me at this point to nourish those fibers again so the leather doesn't crack and sort of deteriorate away. So we'll be doing that today with a bit of our Tanner's Blend product, which was developed by the tanner at Horween. So that Tanner's Blend works incredibly well on all the Horween leathers, and in particular works really well on the Chromexcel leather. So I've really seen that tanner's blend breathe the life back into Chromexcel, and it's extraordinary for that. Hey everyone, we're back for day 2 of polishing up and cleaning up these Quoddy boots. And yesterday I cleaned these off with a bit of soapy water, but also when I was editing the video I noticed how awful the audio was. So I'm sorry for that. I'm gonna have to buy a microphone. It does sound pretty good when I'm standing next to it like this. But I think going forward, if I want to do some more videos like this, I'm gonna have to invest in a better microphone. So today, what we're gonna do is to nourish the fibers of the leather again with this tanner's blend. And the tanner's blend is a special product developed by Chris Koblinger. He is the 5th generation tanner at Horween Leather Company. So it's a really special product and it works incredibly well on all different types of Horween leathers, but I've noticed it works even better, perhaps the best, on the Chromexcel. I'm not sure why that is, but I've always gotten really good results out of it. And even looking at it now, after just washing it, it's looking pretty good. We've pulled out a lot of those nourishing oils and fats with the soapy water yesterday. So we're gonna have to replace those today with this tanner's blend. So let's get started. So you can see I'm applying it with my hand. You can use a cloth if you want. I find when I apply any product, any leather polish or cleaner, I find I get more control when I use my hand, so that's why I do this. So really that's all the amount of product you need, maybe 3 to 5 little pea-sized drops of the tanner's blend, and that should give you full coverage on the whole thing. And again, all we're doing is nourishing those fibers. If you put a little too much of this product on, the leather might start feeling a little too sticky, maybe it'll get a little too cloudy. So you can definitely put more on if you need it, if it's looking dry. Like maybe this area where the laces are, it looks like some of the finishes rolled off, so I could probably fill in that even a little more. But I'm not too worried because the laces are going to cover that up. At this point, we'll let these dry for about 10 minutes and then come back and give it a quick brush. Alright, so I've let them dry for just a couple minutes here. Now I'm going to wipe off the excess tanner's blend with just a dry cloth here. Alright, at this point I'm feeling really, really good about the way these boots are looking. They weren't super bad to begin with, but a quick cleaning like that and a little bit of tanner's blend is really making these look very nice, almost like new. So I think all I really need to do now is give them a quick brushing and I'll be done. I'm going to try something too. I'm going to try to add some Venetian Cream to it. Just to see if this increases the luster a little bit. Maybe for those that are interested to see what the Venetian Cream will do. So right there, I'd say that's about all I'd really ever want to do. We'll put a little application of Venetian Cream on here next. But let's take a look at some of the before and after. So you can see before, quite dirty, especially on the toe. And now we've got a lot of that luster back. Even the depth of the color is starting to come back. And a nice luster as well. All right, that's a nice light application of the Venetian Cream. I like to do it until it gets a little cloudy, and if you do it with your finger like I do, you can feel that the polish starts to get a little bit sticky, and that's where you want it. But if you put too much on, this will definitely cloud up and not be what you'd like. I'm gonna just give this a brush, and I think we're done. I forgot to mention I want to wipe off the excess polish here. All right, moment of truth. Yeah, boot never really looks complete until you have the laces put on there, and this is looking really great. Well, I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. I'm gonna have to start wearing these again because they're just really, really sleek looking. I really like the blacked out sort of stealth look that these black Chromexcel boots have going on with the black sole, black laces, and now that they're shined up, I guess I have to do the other one. Dang. I have to do this other one. I do have plans to do some of the other boots that I have back here. Let me tilt you up. I have plans to do some of these boots as well. I've got the indie boots on the left there, 1,000-mile boots in the center, and some other indie boots. We'll be doing the same process on those as I did on these Quoddies. But I'm really happy how these turned out. If you have any questions about anything, please don't hesitate to let me know. If you have any questions on my method or maybe some ways that you like to do it that you think I could improve on, I'd really appreciate that as well. This is just what I find works well for me. So thanks again for checking everything out, and I'll be back again with more stuff tomorrow.